When Ebola struck West Africa, nobody saw it coming. In fact, the virus was circulating for 3 months before it was properly identified. And by that time, many families were already being torn apart. Many people, as we know, died, but many more survived. And I'm very happy to introduce you today to Abubatu and her brother Lamphia, who are from Sierra Leone and now spend much of their time helping children left orphaned by Ebola. Abubatu, if we could just begin, if you could take us back to life before Ebola, what was it like?
Before Ebola in our country, Sierra Leone, we are living a happy life together. As a child advocacy person, I have my group that we used to advocate to our fellow girls about teenage pregnancy, early marriage, and sexual penetration. In my family, although before that time we lost our mother, but we are living a happy life with my father and my brothers and sisters. We never knew about quarantine, Ebola, isolation. We never knew about the ABC method, which is the avoid body contact. We are all living a happy family life together in Sierra Leone, and the teenage pregnancy rate at that time was not that too increased. The sexual penetration was not that too increased in Sierra Leone, and also the early marriage was not that too increased in Sierra Leone. As a child advocacy person, I have my group, I and my colleagues. We used to go to different villages, talk to our fellow students about teenage pregnancy and the dangers around teenage pregnancy, sexual penetration, and early marriage.
So, Abubatu, even before the Ebola outbreak happened, you were helping young women in your community. Tell me about when things started to change, because it was a very gradual thing, wasn't it, as Ebola started coming through. Just tell me about those first few weeks when your community realized something was going wrong.
It was August 21st. We were the first family that contacted Ebola at Moyamba district, southern part of Sierra Leone. My elder brother was a surgical doctor. He did operation. On that process, he got the Ebola virus. Little we know about Ebola at that time, and unknown to our father and my elder brother who was studying law, they went to my brother. After when my elder brother have died, they came to us. We are all staying together. After 5 days, I lost my father and my brother again, and we too started to show out the signs and symptoms.
So your father, it was your brother who first became sick. You lost your father and 2 of your brothers to Ebola. Your mother had passed away some years before. Do you know, so who was infected first? Do you know how they became infected?
It was my elder brother, the surgical doctor. He did operation on 2 patients, and then he got the Ebola virus. But at that time in Sierra Leone, very little knew about the Ebola virus. Because we are always saying that when a family got Ebola, this family is a curse against the family, and we are not taking it very too serious because we never understand about Ebola. When my elder brother died, my father and my older brother, who was studying law, they were with him. When they came back home to us at Moyamba, that was the time the results came out and said, my elder brother died of Ebola. So we are quarantined. After 5 days, my father and my older brother started having frequent stooling, vomiting, body pains, and headache.
And this was in the house with you all in the home as well? They were showing this illness?
Yes, we are all staying together in the same house because at that time, when they have noticed that this particular family have Ebola, people were saying that there was no medicine for Ebola. What they did, they make you all isolated, put you all in one place. They will not allow you to move. All of you will be in one place, just stay in there, and they will give you food to eat.
So when your family became sick, you were quarantined in your home. Lamphia, what was that like at that point? How were you feeling?
Well, it was a terrible moment because when our elder brother, we heard that he was sick, our father and our brother Samuel went to visit him and he died. So when he died, our father returned back to Moyamba with our brother Samuel. We were at the house for 2 days, and the medical people, I could remember in the afternoon, they came to our house and told us that our brother died of Ebola, and so they are going to quarantine us for observation. Right. So we were quarantined, and at that time, when they talk about quarantine, everybody was afraid, we were scared. They have to give us some security personnel to be with us, and we were quarantined in our family, as a family in a compound. And we got soldiers and police that were surrounded the compound. And
it was the two of you and your two younger sisters who were quarantined.
Yes.
So nobody looking after you at that time, you were just on your own?
No.
And so when did you start developing symptoms? What happened? How did you know you were getting sick?
Well, after the death of our father and our brother, few days we started developing signs and symptoms. And at that time, my sister was a child advocacy person for Plan, so we had to call Plan International, and they tried to fast-track our movement to the care center where we were taken for treatment.
So you were taken to a treatment center. How did you feel at that point, Abubatu? What was going through your mind? You must have known you were very sick. You'd seen what had happened to your father and your brothers. That must have been incredibly frightening.
Yeah, when we were at the treatment center, I felt so sad because my elder brother here, Lamphia, went in coma for 1 week. People were saying that he's not going to survive. We used to pray and cry so that he can make it up. As a child advocacy person, I saw a lot of children dying. Youth were dying at the place, but we could not help because they said we should not touch each other. But because I was staying in the same ward with my elder brother, Lamphia, I rendered help to him. Even though I was seriously sick, I too, but at that time, I was working, but he couldn't work.
And how did you look after Lamphia? Because, of course, Ebola is spread through caring. This was one of the most tragic things about this virus, is when you care for someone, when you wipe the sweat from your child's brow, when you try and take care of them, that is how it spreads. It spreads through the body fluids. But you were already sick at that time. How were you able to look after Lamphia?
Well, according to what the medical people were saying, when you're at the treatment center and you have the Ebola virus, when the virus is reducing in your immune system, if you touch somebody that have Ebola, you will not have the sick. But if I touch someone that do not have the sick, I will transfer the Ebola virus to that person. So at that time, all of us that were staying in the ward, in that hospital, we are all having the Ebola virus. But although my own, at that time, I was getting better now. So even if I touch my brother, I will not have the sick again.
Lamphia, just describe to us what it was like. What do you remember very much from being that sick? You came very close to death. In fact, doctors at one point thought you had died.
Yes, it was a very terrible moment, because I could remember all I did was to help my father at a time when he was having frequent stool and diarrhea. I was the only one son remaining who was strong at that time.
So you were helping your father when he was sick?
Yes, I was taking my father to the toilets and trying to go and empty the vomit, and I was taking care of my father too. But after some time, after they passed away, 3 days, I started developing signs and symptoms. Before we were taken to the treatment center, I was unconscious, I was not myself, I was not able to walk on my own because I was very much dehydrated due to the vomit and diarrhea. So I went into coma by the time we arrived at the care center. And my sister here was the only person that was giving me help because I was lying on the bed without doing anything for myself. She was there taking my diapers, trying to help me eat, drink some water, because at that time, you can survive if you drink and eat. So that was the only medication they were giving us at that time. Because when the whole illness struck our community, everybody knew about Ebola, and there were no enough resources to handle the situation. So isolation was one of the best methods they used, and they give us water and food. So when I was unconscious, my sister was trying to help me so that I can drink and eat, so that I, as the only brother now, will not die again.
And you didn't die, you survived.
And miraculously,
you're looking very
God
strong
made it
today,
for me. I survived.
both of you. Tell me about life after Ebola, Abibatu. What has it been like going back into the community? Because, of course, many people have found that very difficult, being outcast from their neighbors, because there is so much fear still around about Ebola.
After Ebola, we have a lot of stigmatization in the community. Our friends were not coming closer to us. People said we have a curse in our family. Even the family relative that we have in our family that we are depending on, when we came back home, they asked us out from our father's house. It was only through the help of Plan International at Moyamba. They came in and tried to help us. We have a lot of stigmatization. And also when I came again, a lot of teenage pregnancy, the high rate of teenage pregnancy was too much in Moyamba district. We have a lot of orphaned children and a lot of street children. We have a lot of youths that we are roaming about in the streets without doing nothing.
And I can see from all of this experience, you are talking about how you can help other people, and that is a really strong thing, because so many people may have just felt like life wasn't worth living after going through what you have been through, but you have so much strength, and I think we can all see that here today. And I know that you have, we're just coming to the end of our time, but I know that you have written a song and a poem, so we'd really love to hear that about your experience. Take it away.
Well, this song is titled Ebola Orphans, and this song was done for Ebola orphans. And the song goes like this. The song was done in our native language. Do you wanna know left we so they suffer? Ebola don't come and make we orphans. We don't get this sick, don't suffer, say don't well and come back home. Yeah, left for the stigmatize, we left for the segregate, we are. Cause it's not easy.
Oh, Ebola, why have you done this to us? Why do you choose to let us be orphaned? Tell us, what do you want us to do? Or why do you think we should live our life as orphans? Didn't you know that it is good for us children to enjoy parental love and care? To us, the children of Mama Salon who are orphans, let us be strong and courageous, okay? And fight against our enemy, Ebola.
Well, strong and courageous. That is certainly what you two are. I know that, Lamphia, you're looking at becoming a doctor.
Yes,
which is fantastic news, because Sierra Leone lost so many health workers, particularly doctors, to this virus, and you're continuing the amazing work you're doing with young women. So I wish you all the best with your future work. Thank you. Thank you.